Hello.
I
Welcome, welcome.
How is everybody doing today?
Good.
Your voice getting any better?
My voice is fine, but my cough is worse.
Ugh.
But I went to aftercare this morning and got an x-ray and they've confirmed it's not walking pneumonia. So
Well, that's good.
I don't have any other symptoms. Like
Yeah,
I feel pretty, I mean, coughing makes you like hurt, but
right.
so they gave me, I have to go pick up inhaler.
Mm,
I think there's just maybe some like inflammation that's causing my body to create stuff to clear it out. And so we'll
yeah.
see. We'll see, but it's day 10, so not my
Ugh.
favorite. Not my favorite.
Mm-mm.
All right, we'll give people a couple minutes. I don't, there were supposed, let's see, 10 so far. Let's see.
Oh,
Welcome,
it's like
welcome.
8:20.
We'll see. Saturdays, people come in. I'm trying to experiment whether or not weekdays or weekends are better, but summer is just unpredictable.
Yeah.
So while we're waiting, I would recommend getting any form of yarn or tapestry needle for weaving and ends, because that is the focal point of this hour. Um, because I do not know about you, but it helps sometimes just to have something on the calendar for dedicated time to do something.
Absolutely.
It helps with the focus. So, um, as always, we'll start with box breathing. I'm just going to count you through because if I breathe in, I'll start coughing. If I breathe in big, so I'm just going to talk you through it. Okay, so everybody breathe in for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Let's try one more time. Take a big cleansing breath in through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Through your mouth, breathe out. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. All right. You're initiated into this hour of it just being your time. I have
Mm-mm.
no powers to give this, but you now have permission. Um, Hi, everyone. It's good to see you. This is really just a check-in. We're about halfway through. We're actually a little bit more than halfway through. I think we're in the like 60-day range out of 90 days. So maybe it's more like two-thirds through, which just to get it out of the way does not mean that you should be that far on your piece. It's just our time together. That's like that. So I wanted to check in. I know for me, finishing projects, not just like completing the knitting or crochet, but I mean the actual finishing work, weaving it, blocking, seaming, whatever it is my absolute least favorite thing. Um,
Me
and if
too.
I leave everything to the end, it sometimes just does not get done for quite some time. And so I just thought that since we're in this point in time, uh, maybe if we just dedicated a little bit of time, and presumably I'm not the only person that feels this way, then maybe it would take a little bit off of our plate towards the end. So today is mostly going to be about just hanging out, spending time weaving in ends. But I would love to see people's, if you would like to show it, I would like to see your how your wrap gowns are coming together. I will start. I did not, I think. Well, I guess I have done some since we saw each other last. I can never know which is, I guess it doesn't matter. So mine's coming together. It's it's not quite big enough to wrap. It could be like one shoulder wrap. But it's getting there. It's getting there for sure. Um, yeah, and I had to order more of my peaceful and happy color, which is not how I went into this.
Yes.
Um, and I've used probably the least amount of my sad color, which is also interesting. And also not as much of my power and in control color as I would like. So it's been an interesting, it's definitely continues to be interesting for me. And I want to talk a little bit more about that and reflecting on it. But first I would love to see everybody's. Kristen, do you want to go next?
Oh, I've got mine behind me. Have
Oh,
somebody
oh no,
go.
okay.
I've got
Okay.
mine.
Lori, how about you?
I am here, slowly getting there, but it's all
Good.
right. It's
No,
something I do every evening, and I look forward to it. So, in a
yeah,
month, working on baby girl dresses and fun
exciting,
things. So,
exciting, exciting. She's here now, right?
she is here now. She's been here about 2.5 weeks, and her name is Hadley Fern,
Oh,
and
Love it.
she's just a little wonder. So.
is she acclimating to this world pretty
Yes,
well? That's
I
nice.
would say so. Her brother, who's a year and a half old,
Yeah. Ooh,
he is very yes.
kids are in it right now. Ooh, they're in it.
They he's a little bit, I mean, he loves her. He worries about her constantly.
Yeah.
Where's baby?
Yeah.
But he's good. I mean, he just doesn't know his own strength. So it's busy at that
Oh,
house, that's for sure.
yeah. So my oldest two are almost exactly 2 years apart. And when when Tristan, my second one, was born, he was a month premature. And so he was very small. I mean, not like dangerously small, but he was small. He was like barely hit 6 pounds. And so when we came home, their dad was at work and Tristan was like buckled into the swing. And Tanner, my oldest, while I was using the restroom, the door was open, but I didn't have an eye line. He took him, undid the belt, and took him by his, I guess, neck. I don't really know, like this, and drug him out and over to the couch because it was right next to the couch. Um, they are both adults now. So tell your children that it does get better. But those first months and first 2 years, man, you are in it. Are in it, as I'm sure you know too.
Yeah, she and her brother, so my two are almost 4 years apart, and she did not want that. She wanted them closer together. So I said, "Well, you've done it, honey."
Did it. Hey, well done.
Yeah.
Well done. Uh, man, I need to finish a row before I do ends. Well, congratulations, and I'm glad your blankets
Thank
go on.
you.
I can't see a name. I see iPhone 4, but you're out on a patio crocheting and you're doing your big mandala one. Um,
There she is.
but you'll have to tell us your name. Oh, here, I can ask you to unmute. Yeah, hold on. Let me see if this helps. Weird. Ask to unmute. Give it a try and we'll come back to you. See if you can mess with it because it's not letting me. I'm clicking ask to unmute and it's not letting me. So just you can kind of give it a little try.
I
Kristen, it
got
looks
mine
like you
now.
has yours now. You have your
Yep. So mine is backing up here, still backing up here.
man, it is
Beautiful.
So it's getting pretty big.
it's big. That's great.
Yeah.
It's
And
really
it's
pretty.
fluffy and soft.
Yeah, it's really
I
pretty.
like fluffy. So
If you
yes.
cannot unmute, do not worry about it at all. You can type stuff in the chat or you could just ignore it altogether. Sometimes when you're on a mobile device, it's not that easy. It's significantly easier, I think, on a computer. Um,
Yeah.
Mary, how's yours coming along?
Yeah, hang on. I think it's coming along pretty good.
Oh, that's really nice.
It is.
Oh,
Really,
beautiful.
Just taking a, I had to, when I'm sore, it makes it a little, when I'm hurting from like, uh, grocery shopping and that. And last night I had a, low glucose event going on. So that makes it kind of hard for me to take time to knit.
yeah.
Definitely.
Well, take time for yourself. That's whatever that looks like. That's what this is about. Well, I hope you're feeling better. Those are hard.
I'm
Um,
doing better today.
I'm glad to hear that. Madeline, how's yours coming together? And what is that top that you're wearing? I have a two-pronged question for you.
This is a little thing that my cousin crocheted. Actually, at her house, they've got a huge property, and so I just stepped away and got it. But she crocheted this and gave it to me. It's a little
I like
crop
it.
thing,
Oh, I like it. It's really cute.
just a little,
It's cute.
yeah. And then this is my Afghan is like a full-on comforter at this point. Like I did a worsted weight, so it's
Yeah.
big, but yeah, it's
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Really
Yes.
good.
so yeah. And I honestly, the further I've gone, it said 2 or 3 rows a day, and I was like, I should have done 1 or 2,
Yeah.
but
So just
I'm fine with a big old thing because I've
you
been
do that
actually,
now. You can also stop whenever you want. You
oh
know,
yeah,
like
and I've been adjusting like 1 or 2 rows and kind of playing around with, here I did a section with several, little 1 row deals, and then
yeah.
some of these are where I had the same move for 2 or 3 days. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, just kind of playing around with the format a little bit. So, but I like it's going to be good to have it big. When I sit at night and knit and well, this is crochet covers my legs. It's perfect on the couch. So
Yeah. I mean, you're a tall lady, so
I am. I'm not normal size, so that's nice too.
no, so it'll be good. Well, I'm not normal size either in reverse, so
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah,
Um,
the world was not made for us.
no. Is your daughter still working on it or did she tap out?
She's just sitting across from me. I think she tapped out. It's still in her room.
Yeah.
Are you still working on him? She went push. She's not paying attention. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's kind of tapped out, I think. But it's there, and if she ever wants to pick it up again, so I
Yeah.
think that's
I mean, that's yeah, that's actually just as good, you know.
Yeah.
It's like a
absolutely.
journal, like you pick it up when you need it. I
Yep.
like that too.
Yep.
Excellent. Good to see you.
I did. I want to say I did do one of your crochet the thing you did the other day, the weave in the ends or the crochet the ends in. I did one, and I was pleased with how it turned out. So yeah,
Oh, great,
I
great.
might do some of that.
Yeah, I'm going to share that. So for those, I think everybody who's here is also a Stitchwell Social Club member. Everybody who's here live, I think. But for those watching that are not, I did, or almost everybody is. I did a live video last week. I didn't watch it back. It may be terrible because I was medicine head and bad voice, but I showed different methods of either weaving in ends or eliminating ends. And I did that for them, but I'll pull some of it out because it's relevant to this, or maybe I'll just share it at this point, the recording of it because it's relevant to this. And one of the things we talked about knitting in ends, crocheting in ends, weaving in ends traditionally, weaving them in for this piece that's really open with the crochet. And then I talked about a couple ways to not have ends at all. So I will try and post that next week for sure. I'm glad it worked for you though. Good job.
Good.
Um, Christina, I see a ceiling. I don't know if you're here, if you want to share. If you do, you should. If not, yeah, I think she's gone. Mylinka, how about you?
Hello.
Hello.
How's everybody today?
All right. All
My,
right.
my connection might be a little iffy. I need many cars. It is.
Yeah, hold on, you're cutting out.
That's what I Wait, it's big enough.
Oh, it looks good.
Oh, yeah.
It looks good.
Not quite. Not quite. It's come on. And,
It looks good.
had to.
We can't really hear you. You're going in and out, but we can see it. So that looks good. Um, School started. I wonder if you turn your camera off if we could hear you. Like, I wonder if it's taking up all your Wi-Fi. Not your Wi-Fi, you know what I'm saying. Um, but you just started school. Everything's good. Yeah. So far, so good. All right, we'll leave it there. Good talk. Good talk. Alyssa, how's yours going?
Mine's good. I'll try to show it. I just have my iPhone right now, but yeah, it's coming along.
Oh, pretty.
I really like it.
So pretty.
And then
Oh.
yeah, as I got here, this is the other end. So
Really
yeah, I really like it. I wish I was a little bit mad more often because I like that red,
I
red
know.
orange color.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I had the same thing that like
Yeah.
deep rust is really, but yeah,
But no, I really like it. So yeah, it's coming along.
excellent. Excellent. Okay, let me see. So I think I've got everybody who has their camera on. And if you don't have your camera on, I'm going to assume that you're not wanting to share, but please just flag me if you are. So as we are weaving in ends, I wanted to talk a little bit about process. I've posted a couple of questions over the last week or two that have sort of been in the realm of process with your projects. And I want to use that theme and kind of look at this particular piece that we're working on. I'm curious to know, for those that are making theirs in a linear fashion, um, that and maybe aren't taking the time every single night to work on it, but are tracking their moods every day. So in that scenario, for those that are doing that, I'm curious, because I had thoughts on my own. If you go back, let's say you haven't been able to work on it for a whole week. Let's say at the beginning of the week, you got in a fight with your spouse, or something happened politically, or something, whatever, something made you mad. And then you had a bunch of days that were just like normal, whatever. And then you had a little of this anxiety, and then you went back, da, da, da. When you sit down and you're having, let's say you're having a joyful day that day, or just a peaceful day that day. If you have to when you go back to work on that angry day or anxious day, or it could be in reverse if you are angry and have to go back for a joyful day. Where does that bring you mentally? Do you come back to it and revisit the feelings you were having? Do you go back to it and say like, oh, that was actually like not a big deal, or oh, I shouldn't, eat for good or bad. Um, and so that you change it, or do you not like the feeling of going back? Anyone?
It happened. I'm not going to change it. So I try when I do my log, I write down like, and the highlights of anything I felt during the day that really stood out.
Yeah.
And then I look on the wheel and see where they all are. And then I write down like the dominant one, as far as the 6. And then I circle it so I know that's the one that really stood out. I make sure that that feels right at the time. And then I just change to that color when the time is right.
Do you have any feelings about whether or not you want to care about or are affected by having to go back to that mental place?
Sometimes it's actually therapeutic to go back there and to, you know, see what I had seen in a different lens. And sometimes it's like, well, I'm here, I made it through. And I don't even think about it. And sometimes I've chosen something that seemed to be the dominant thing. I don't even know that I'm, so many days in my life ahead of where I last knit. I'm like, I don't even remember why I picked that.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, so try and stick with it.
So my Linka said that she doesn't mind revisiting previous that she just jots down her notes next to the main mood so that she remembers. Her camera's off so that it's easier to hear everyone because she's out in rural Texas. So anybody else have feelings about that?
I'm finding it a little hard to go back on some of these days and then because it kind of makes me revisit how I was feeling on that day a little bit as I go and knit it into the project.
And
But then,
you're feeling that's difficult? Is that what you said?
yeah, it's a little bit difficult because, like, right now, the part I'm working on was the weekend of my brother's birthday, and how he didn't even text me or call me to thank me for the birthday card. It's like he doesn't really want to talk to me at all,
Mm-hmm.
and it hurts a little.
Mm-hmm. And so having to go back and look at that just sort of brings up that pain again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel the same at the end of the row or section that you did at the beginning? Like, in other words, does the process of thinking about that again and sort of rhythmically, because there's some data out there that shows that rhythmic movement combined with thoughts, like, has some effect on the nervous system. Do you feel like the process helps, or no, the whole thing feels painful?
No, it's helping because it's like, okay, I'm putting it out there in the world with this project and just kind of releasing it
Releasing.
from my body.
Right. And that's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And doing that is probably going to help your physical health in the future.
Yeah.
Getting
And
it
that's,
out. It's like a toxin, pain and
yeah,
anger is a toxin,
yeah,
if it sits. So,
yeah. I was more like sad and um and some of the feelings under it were like rejected, the
right,
rejected and the
right, right.
because I mean we have a 3-year age difference between us, but it's like I try to tell him what's going on in my life because he needs to know occasionally since our mom lives with me and my husband, and mainly right now she's in rehab, so that's stressing me out a little bit right now.
Hmm. Yeah.
And so the knit, even just the movement of the knitting kind of helps get the stress out of my body.
Well, it's really good that you're doing that for yourself. So I hope you acknowledge that, like, and validate that you are caring for yourself in that way. Because it's hard. I mean, it takes strength to face things that are difficult, and release them. It's even harder.
Yeah.
So well done. Well done. Anybody else? I think for me, I have more of the go back and like, oh, you know what? Like that wasn't even that big a deal. Or like, do I even like need to represent that? Like I'm so far past that. That's what it is. It's like I've moved so far past that that like does that even need to be documented at this point? Um, and so that's been interesting for me because it's another reason why I've never journaled, really. I tried it and I don't love going back and seeing like it's almost like embarrassing to me. Um, so that's something that I clearly need to work through. But I wouldn't have really thought about it unless I was physically looking at these colors. I'm such a visual person and I do so much better when something like is forming in front of my eyes. Um, and so for me, that gives me time to think about it. And also, to Mary's point, I think that if I were to just say, like, you know what, I'm not even going to put that, it ended up that I was wrong. I shouldn't have been have those feelings about that. Not shouldn't have had those feelings, but I received that wrong. It wasn't that at all. So let's just pretend that didn't happen. Well, that doesn't actually acknowledge the feelings of that day. And so I'm not actually releasing them.
Right.
So yeah, so it's been an interesting process for me as well. Um, does anybody else have?
There's something in the chat from iPhone 4.
Oh, it makes me revisit and realize what upset me was really nothing. Oh, like that's what I was and the thing that makes me happy again. Okay. All right. Well, that's a positive outlook.
Yeah.
Mylynka said she likes looking at the whole blanket to see what the week has been like. Oh, that's nice. It's nice to see how I've been doing overall, especially since things have been way more positive than anticipated. Yeah, oh, Maggie's iPhone 4. Hi Maggie. I think this is um this is a very American thing. And I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't spent some time in Canada or with Canadians in America, watching our news cycles. I can't remember what was happening because it's been, I mean, maybe 10 years. I was doing the PBS show and I had some guests that were in from Canada. We were shooting in Ohio, and who knows what, I don't even remember what thing was happening then because you know there's always something. I think it might have been the time. Do you guys remember when people were being mailed
Oh,
white stuff that can kill you? Um,
mm.
Anthrax.
yeah, do you remember that? So this has been a minute.
Yeah.
It was like everywhere you go, like nobody wanted to open the mail. Like it was and we were with, like I said, I was with two designers who were going to be guests that were, they were from Your Inspirations from Canada. And they're like, oh, they were watching the news and like visibly, like, they're like, your news is different than ours. Like, you guys have a, like,
Fair.
they're like, this is a lot. Like, this is really dramatic. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of what we do. So, all that to say is that we are living in an unprecedented time within the past few generations. I can't like 100 years ago, probably pretty similar and but different. Um, and because we are now constantly inundated not only with news but everybody's opinions, everybody on the face of the earth's opinions,
Mhm.
we have all of that coming out of it at us. So it for me, it seems I'm surprised that I wasn't like ragey more because you see all this coming at you. And so this is another good sort of grounder,
Yeah.
you know, a reminder
Hmm.
for what's real in your life. Not to say that the stuff isn't going on, but what's real on a daily, minutely um, span of time for your own life. Um, so yeah, so that's been good as well. I Also, talked to some of you about this yesterday. Actually, maybe it was just you, Kristen. You may have been the only one on yesterday.
Maybe.
This sort of relates. I've been thinking a lot about, oh, Alyssa, you were there too, because we had this whole conversation. We talked a little bit about unfinished objects and collecting them and or just the sort of dynamic of or phenomenon of unfinished objects. And there's sort of lore around it and within our community, right? It's like, oh, how many UFOs do you have? Oh, and it's kind of ominous and I think that there's a lot of like psychology in that, and I'm always interested in hearing, not always, I'm now interested in hearing first of all, when you have a project, what what causes it to go from a work in progress to an unfinished? Like is there something pivotal? Is it always the same thing? Like is there a cycle or a rhythm? Um, and then the second part of that is how do you feel psychologically about those unfinished objects? Are you like they're dead to me, it's fine, I'll get rid of them someday, or when I die it'll be somebody else's problem? Or 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 is it like they're staring you in the face, it's something else you haven't done, all of bloody bloody. So either one or both of those parts, if anybody has any thoughts on those, I'm curious and interested.
I like the last one you said about getting it done. I've
Mhm.
always said that I am a great starter. I never finish anything. And that does kind of hang over me. And I know it's a very ADHD thing, which when I was a kid, I didn't know I had. I was diagnosed in my early 20s. But part of my problem is there will be something more shiny that comes along. Or like for my son's color block sweatshirt that I'm working on, it's a tin can, it's a pattern. I'm on endless stockinette body island of just going around and around and around. So that one was definitely, oh my God, I'm so bored with this. And it was getting warmer outside and I didn't want to have it in my lap because it's pretty heavy and big at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually my problem is attention span.
Yeah. One thing that stood out about what you said is the way that you delivered it. You said, I never finish things. And
Right.
I want to just draw a little attention on that not being a true
Mhm.
statement.
Oh yeah, no,
Not
I
a
am,
true statement.
yeah,
So
I kind of,
maybe thinking about rewording that in your brain too.
well, and I've been working on that because that's been a big thing in my brain for a long time. I never finished my undergrad. I never finished this. I never did that. We never finished getting whatever done in the house. Um, and so it's been a theme
Yeah.
through my life, and I have been working on trying to reframe it. And I've also been trying to work on getting better about finishing things. But my big Achilles heel is also washing and blocking and weaving in the ends. I have sweaters that I have never properly blocked. I have a couple of sweaters that I wear, despite the fact that there are ends in there. I just, occasionally weave another one in when I'm wearing it. Or, not well, it's on
Does
my
it
body.
matter?
No, and that's just it. I'm finally I was listening to a podcast and somebody said it's the was it the Getmo? Good enough to move on.
Hmm.
And I'm really trying to embrace that concept of it's now good enough to move on. Um, and not doing everything perfectly. I just had some stitches fall off the needle of the sweater I'm working on, in the middle of a very complex lace pattern.
Ugh.
Exactly.
To me at that point, like I was like, well, guess this project is dead.
Right. And I'm like, I'm not usually like that, but I would rip back, take back, But this time I just went, oh, I went stitch by stitch. And I went, I'm missing one here, I'm missing one here, I'm missing one here. And I pulled up the appropriate ones and threw the yarn overs where they needed to be. And it was now good enough to move on. Because if anybody is that close to the bottom part of my torso, when I am wearing this sweater,
Yeah.
I can tell there was something wrong.
Yeah.
So,
My
yeah.
mom used to say, like, if anybody gets that close to you, they better marry you. That's problematic in this day and age, obviously.
Right.
But I need to think of an equivalent for it because I got it. It's like then they're like very personally close and they won't care and they, you know what I'm saying? Like there's something there. We just need to take the misogyny out of it. And
Mhm.
I haven't really figured that out yet, but that's the sort of that's what it is. It's like
Yeah.
if it's somebody that is that physically close to you, the chances are that they are also close to you emotionally.
Right. And they're not going to care.
Or else there is something wrong, or else they are overstepping boundaries, you know? So,
Exactly.
um, yeah. It looks like my Linka also, if something gets super fiddly,
Mhm.
and it's frustrating, like it goes away. Yeah, and that's how it is. Like I hate fiddly stuff. I really, which is why I'm not much of a stranded color work knitter.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. I'm not really either. So,
but yeah, it's like that's just not what I'm in the game for, you know? And some people love that complex stuff, you know, and that's great for them. But for me, it's just not, that's not what I'm in the game for. I also, you know, I'm, why, why do you think, and we sort of touched on this in the last one, um, but why do you think it is so important to us as stitchers to finish all of the things? It sounds like an obvious question, but what comes to you like when you think about that?
For me, it gives me,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mary.
for me, it's like a sense of, okay, this is good. I've completed something instead of putting it off to the side because something new, like Kristen said, um, something shiny's come along and I'd rather do that. But it's like I have,
But what's wrong with
unfortunately,
that? But what's wrong with that? If you,
well, I have I posted about this big blanket that I'm working on, and it's kind of set off to the side right now because it's a heavy yarn. And we're having 100-degree weather up here in the Northwest right now. So it's like, no, don't want to work on that one. But like the baby blankets that I've done and given away, it's like I'm giving it to somebody I care about, hope they're, it, they enjoy it and that their baby enjoys it.
Mhm. Alyssa, what were you gonna say?
I immediately thought of like how other people perceive
mhm.
what I'm doing. Like, I feel like I'm gonna, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, whatever. This is how I think, and I'll trying to get over it, but that they think it's more positive if I have a finished object and they're like, they just give off more praise, like, oh, wow, but I don't know if others or society or our culture values yet as much as we would like the process of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and my link is saying because we're clean plate kids,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Well, you
or it
gotta
is
finish what's in front of you before you can have dessert.
or just
Yeah.
or conversely, if it's not about dessert, if it's just about there are kids starving or there are like whatever guilt thing it
So,
is, or
yes.
Like
or
you have to be
or
productive.
your brother finished it, why can't you? You know, that kind of
Mhm.
the comparative stuff.
Hmm.
Um,
And
Yeah.
then there's like Instagram and like all this online stuff where everybody is showing like perfect everything and finished objects. And so, yeah, the comparative is tough
Yeah.
in
You
this
know what's
time.
interesting though, because we can scroll, we're seeing at least 10 of something at any given time,
Yeah.
but we're not seeing 10 different finished objects in their feed.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're creating a perception,
Actually,
we're
yeah. That's a
perceiving
good
it
point. Hmm.
That's true.
in a way that is, we're constructing something that is not necessarily the case. Um,
That's a good point.
If it was paint on canvas, nobody would care if it was finished or unfinished if you decided to move on. But for something like this, I think that's the difference between art and craft. And craft gives you something tangible that you can use at the
Right.
end. And
because
people
art is just for
think
the sake of doing. Yeah.
precisely. And
Mhm.
I think there's a difference there too.
Hmm.
I think of the investment sometimes too,
Mhm.
depending on what it is that I'm creating. And if I don't finish, I think, woof, I've got all of this yarn or Malabrigo invested in this bag sitting next to me on the floor, and it's how can I just put that away? Because nobody else knows how much it is. My husband certainly doesn't know. But I do, and it's just it's an odd feeling. It's like enjoy it because it feels so good, in your hands. But I don't know, if I don't finish, I feel like I don't appreciate it enough or something. The ability to be able to purchase that yarn. I don't know.
Were you would you ever consider just unraveling it and using the yarn for something else at another time?
Yes.
Would that make you feel better?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit about this last time when we were talking about, all of us feeling like we were behind constantly on projects. And that was one of the things that came up was, the financial stuff. And I get that 100%. I mean, I grew up without money. Um, but that seems to be a little bit separate from what's really going on because you can unravel it and then find another pattern, and there's enough free patterns if you're really worried about it that you can and refocus it. Or
Right.
there are buy sell trade groups where you could get money back. It may not be as much money, but that's okay.
Mhm.
Or you can, bag it up. Well, this is less, you're not getting the money back, but you could bag it up together and donate it and use it, get one of the donation tags for your taxes later. Like there are different ways. So I wonder if it's about more than that, but we as a cult, we're a capitalist society, so people understand money. They understand the value of that versus what it's bringing to you here.
Yes. Yeah. And I think people also get caught up on the wanting to finish it, even though they are slogging through it and don't like it anymore. But they don't want to let it go. So I think there's some of that too, because we talked about that a little bit last night as well, that it's just, but I'm gonna finish it. But I don't want to frog it. I don't want to, because it's the time invested, I think.
Mm-hmm.
People see the time that they put into a piece, but if that piece is no longer bringing joy and you're pulling the stitches out, you don't get the time back. You get the yarn back, you don't get the time you put into it back. And I think that's, and they've talked about different types of knitters. And I am very much a process knitter and not really a product knitter.
Hmm.
I don't care as much about the finished product as I do about enjoying the process with the yarn. So if I have to frog it back, it's like, oh, I get to play with this yarn again.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice attitude to have.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
not as many things are going to be dead to you as they are for me and my Linka.
Uh,
That's a good attitude. That's
you know,
yeah, yeah. Anybody else? I wonder. I'm going to transition a little bit and talk about transitions now because I feel like we've done what we can do there.
yeah.
So now that we're this far in, regardless of where you are on your piece, but even if you've only done it here and there, you've been with at least along for the ride at some point. Um, do you feel, I'm thinking about the future, and thinking about next steps, for projects, for things to make, for group things that we can do together. Do you feel like much like when you learn to keep a journal or um, anything else that I'm not thinking of right now that's about sort of an ongoing mental health thing? Is there something about this process that feels like it could be transitional to something else and it just builds upon it? Like this could be part of something that you bring in to keep in your life in some way, not as a rap can every time, obviously, but like there might be something, a next step. Or are you just really happy with this, time capsule period where you spotlighted this one part of your life, you're releasing it, and now you'll be back to back to action and whatever you were doing before?
I actually considered continuing this, whether this group does or not. I don't know if I will, but I'm debating. But using like for each season and using like different weights of yarn, keeping the same concept with the six emotions. I like the whole process. I like tracking it. Yeah, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'm considering a next step for everyone, like leading something else. But I'm just not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what it is again. I think the season thing is spot on, Alyssa.
Mhm.
But I just what I don't have the handle on, and I it's almost there. I can feel that it's almost there, but it's not, is whether it's the exact same thing or it's not just a little like an evolution. And I don't mean
Mhm.
project, I mean process, like I mean approach. Um, my Linka said she's thinking about doing it too. Um, let's see. Also, my Linka said I used to have all the card making stuff, rubber stamps, die cut things, cardstock, taking up space. I felt bad about all the money I spent languishing for years. Last year, I boxed it all up, donated to my public library, and they were thrilled. And it lifted such a weight off my mind and spirit. That's our other great point. I said donate and then get the receipt so you can write it off in your taxes. That is my link is a much better, um, well, depends financially, but if you can move that, because we're now sort of, at least everybody that's here, virtually, physically, um, acknowledging that it is, of course, money is a very real thing, but that's not its like total part. It's like that there is that psychological, that guilt factor, and
Hmm.
there can be a release if it's going to someone that needs it, that if it's doing good for someone else.
Yes.
There was a young girl posted on Facebook that her mother-in-law loves to crochet, but they don't have very much money. Did anyone have any yarn? And so I reached out and said, message me and I can meet you. So I went through oh, my big closet in my garage, and she got three garbage bags full of anything that I thought I would probably never use, but that were great. There was a lot of Burnett blanket
Yeah.
and Lion Brand, and I mean the daughter-in-law cried. She said, "Oh my gosh!" She said, "You wait until she sees this. I'll share some pictures." And I told her that was okay, that my heart felt good, and because I was releasing that my uh, hoarding tendency, maybe, in wanting all of it. So it released that. And yes, I see you laughing, Kristen, but it's exactly it. We want it all, right? I
Yes,
mean,
we want it all, and we want it there ready so that when we find the right project for that yarn that we love, it's ready to
exactly.
go. But then we find more yarn that we love.
Yeah,
Or we
exactly.
find a project that doesn't go with any of the yarn that we already
Yes.
have loved.
Social media kills me lately. Every time I open my email. I need to unsubscribe from some designers because I love what they have. And so, but it's like a new design every other day, it seems. And I'm like, wait, I
Oh,
can't possibly do all these.
I know. It's like, oh yeah, I did a big unsubscribe on through Gmail because they have a new thing that you can like group unsubscribe from a bunch of stuff like at once.
Oh,
Yeah, so if you've got a Gmail account, that's now an option. But yeah, I went through and I'm like, well, I really don't need to see this and 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 just unsubscribe from a bunch of things. And that's actually helped me because I had 20 some odd thousand unread messages in my promotions tab.
Mhm.
I'd say about a third of that was knitting related.
hmm.
So that felt like a weight off of me in and of itself.
Mhm.
Well, and we know that they will continue to have designs if we feel the need, oh, well, I wonder what so and so is up to, you can go to their site, we'll see it. So why do I have to have it every day?
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. A
Yep.
new
I'm with
project for
you.
me.
Interesting. 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 I'm thinking about how much it costs to have a that newsletter software. So I'm coming at it also from the opposite side,
Yes, yes,
and I'm
definitely.
trying to find value there. So if you and this has nothing to do, unsubscribe, do what you need to do. But this is where my brain was going. Um, you're charged when you use any of the newsletter platforms, whether it's Klaviyo or MailChimp or Kit or whatever it is, you're
Mm.
charged by number of profiles, so how many people. Um, and at one point with Yarnier, I was spending, I think, $1,100 a month just to email people. Uh,
Yeah.
so
Mm.
it's interesting. It's interesting to hear, like, if people aren't purchasing from that because they're so overwhelmed by all of these emails. It's interesting. It's an interesting thing to think about as somebody who has, or that's a designer, also, has businesses, about where that value is, and is it actually, because for quite some time, newsletters were the best way to actually like get people to click and buy. Social media
Sure.
is not that great for that. Um,
Right, right. But I think those tables are turning slightly
i-
because
if
nothing
if
inundated.
Instagram starts allowing links within the posts, it will change.
That'll be huge.
It'll be a huge for a couple years, and then the next thing will happen. Um,
Yeah,
but right now it's strange because so many people are barely on Facebook. Like they're on there maybe just to see what their, schoolmates were doing or show pictures with the grandparent, whatever the cousins that you don't really see, but you do like, kind of thing.
Yes.
It's not like it was a decade ago where
Mm.
that's where you were, you know, getting all of the things. And so now knowing about that, what you just said about Gmail, I wasn't aware of that. I knew you could get rid of, promotions like just select all essentially, but unsubscribing. It'll be interesting to see how that changes um, email marketing, just in general.
Yeah, yeah. Because people do get inundated, when you go someplace and it's the first thing you see is a pop-up with, save 5% on your first order. Put in your email address here. Well, you're now on the email list.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that enough times, you wind up with, 20,000 emails in your promotions tab that you need to deal with. Um, it's like half of the time I don't even look in my promotions tab. I just look occasionally and make sure something didn't get put in there.
Yeah, the promotions tab as a consumer, great. As a
Mhm.
business owner, death.
Yep. Yep. Which is why, like, your emails, the Situal Social Club emails, the people that I'm actively following and involved with and want to buy from, I put in my updates tab.
Oh,
So
I
I
didn't even
drive
know.
it there and I say, then it asks if you want to, you can't do it on your phone, but you can do it on the desktop. And it will ask you if you want all future emails from that email address to go to that tab. And then you can say yes, or you can just ignore it and it'll go away. But if you say yes, then at least the ones that you want to see will go to someplace other than that promotion death tab.
That's good because I remember I still miss now I can't remember what it's called, but remember when Google had the service where it would send you all of the blogs that you subscribed to? You got like a list.
Yes.
I can't remember what it's called. That was my favorite. So I could just like with coffee in the morning just go through. And when they got rid of that,
I know.
like I never I still I don't like I stopped reading blogs really. Like unless there's like a click through or whatever.
Right. And now most blogs are so full of ads that they're not readable.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's like you go to look for a recipe and it's on somebody's blog,
Oh, recipes are a lot.
and it's even more awful than, a lot of other things. But, yeah, it's like there's ads every 5 seconds
Yeah.
everywhere, wherever you read like a sentence and there's another one.
But you get paid so little for those, like they have to be everywhere. It's a conundrum. It is a conundrum for sure. Well, as we wrap up, did anybody get any ends woven in?
Yeah.
I think I got,
Yeah,
I got a few more than I would have gotten. Oh,
I'm almost all
well
caught
done.
up.
Well done, my Linka.
Yeah.
Excellent. Um, oh, that's good too. Okay. Uh, anything else as we close? I think we're good. Okay, if you have any questions, oh, speaking of feelings, this is completely unrelated. But my kid, who's a big theater kid, we had a thing last night, and I'm about to go into another thing. They announced the musical coming up for this spring,
Which one?
and it is a tragedy. They're doing Les Mis in high school.
They have a high school version of it,
No,
and it's
I know. It is
good.
not the
But
3 hour version, but
no.
I was
Wow.
like, okay, guess we're doing it.
Well,
Right.
I actually saw it at a high school
Oh,
here
did
in
you?
Michigan about 10 years ago.
I'm having a hard time grasping how that's going to work, but
It was all done basically
a
on
lot
a
of feelings.
turntable. It was really good the way it
Yeah.
was.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
So, yeah, fun.
You'll have to keep us posted.
I will, living in it. Okay. I have to head to another thing now, so I'm going to let everyone go, but
It's
thank you for
okay.
being here. Continue to post on the boards, and I will see you all soon.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.